You need fingerprint ID to shoot? Oh, that sounds lame as f. With firearms, you typically want as few things between you and shooting the gun as possible, right? This is why some people will even say like they don't want safeties on their guns because there's too much to operate. When you're stressed, you're not gonna be flipping all the switches and doing everything. People are usually hypercritical of biometrics because of that. There was another point of failure, a potential point of failure on a gun. That being said, if these things did work perfectly, it would be cool if like it became standardized such that children could like never kill themselves ever using firearms. God, it would be amazing for police officers. Yeah, true, because a perpetrator grabbing a gun now is no longer like an instant, you know, somebody has to die situation. Like this would be so nice. Holy sh**. I want to see the price.
Hey.
I love this guy.
Then you're f***ed. How's that sound?
What the fuck is this?
I'm Ian McCollum, and today we're looking at a really cool piece of actual new firearms technology. This is the Biofire smart gun, and the first thing that I need to talk about with regards to this is that New Jersey law. So you may be aware that for a while, New Jersey actually had a law on the books that as soon as a smart gun, a gun that would only fire for an authorized user, as soon as something like that was deemed commercially viable, it would start a countdown clock, and after a couple of years in New Jersey, it would only be legal to sell those pistols. Well, that law is no longer actually on the books. Law's off the books, which means that this isn't actually causing problems by its very existence, which is...
Okay, what makes it a smart gun?
I think is a really interesting concept, and it's a very appealing idea to a pretty significant market segment. So that's what Biofire set out to actually create. Now, there are two elements to this pistol. There's the electronic element and there's the mechanical element. On the electronic side, the problem, the engineering challenge is how do we create a pistol or a system that will immediately and reliably authenticate to an authorized user and not authenticate to an unauthorized user. And in order
You need fingerprint ID to shoot? Oh, I wasn't listening. I was tweeting at some fucking loser. That sounds lame as f. I thought everybody hates biometrics on pistols.
for this to work, it has to do that 100% of the time. It has to do it immediately. If you pick this thing up and you have to wait around for it to authenticate, or you pick it up and 5% of the time it just doesn't quite work, you have to try again. That's pretty much the death knell for a system like this. People are just not going to accept it. The idea, the whole purpose is life and death self-defense use. So it has to work immediately. And in order to do that, what Biofire concluded is that they actually have to have two separate biometric systems that operate that are redundant, where either one can authenticate the gun. And the one system they use is a fingerprint scanner, which you can see right here on the side of the grip. There are, by the way, left-hand and right-hand models. You have to get a finger on the fingerprint scanner for the fingerprint scanner to work, so left versus right doesn't matter there. And then the secondary system is a facial recognition camera. So on the back of the gun here, there is a little tiny camera. And when you first get this thing, you program it essentially with your fingerprint and your Face ID. This is a process very similar to setting up a modern smartphone with a fingerprint reader and or facial ID camera. And what's cool about this system is if you reach out and...
God, my immediate thing is, so with firearms, you typically want as few things between you and shooting the gun as possible, right? This is why some people will even say like they don't want safeties on their guns because there's too much shit to operate. When you're stressed, you're not going to be flipping all the switches and doing everything. People are usually hypercritical of biometrics because of that. It's another fail-safe, or not a fail-safe, it's another point of failure, a potential point of failure on a gun. That being said, if these things did work perfectly, it would be cool if like it became standardized such that children could like never kill themselves ever using firearms, right? Like if it was the case that if a kid finds a gun, they can't kill their friends or kill themselves because they're just being kids and retarded or whatever, that would be cool if that was possible.
Grab the gun and get a finger on it. By the time that you have the thing up anywhere close to a firing position, the fingerprint scanner has had enough time to authenticate. Now, what if you have any number of problems, like your hands are covered in chicken grease or something, and the fingerprint scanner doesn't work? Well, that's when the facial ID recognition, facial ID camera kicks in instead. If you have the gun in a position where the back end is pointing towards you, the camera is always watching you and will recognize your face and it will authenticate. That takes slightly longer, but the cool thing is that you only need one of the two, and between them, that's where you can get the essentially 100% reliability of a system that will authenticate under virtually any circumstances. Now, the other really cool element of the system here, and to me this is, I think, even more technologically challenging and interesting than just recognizing a user and authenticating, is the pistol has a series of systems built in to understand when it has been put down or grabbed by someone else versus when you're holding onto it. So if I pick up the gun and it authenticates to me, I can move my finger off the fingerprint sensor, I can point it in some direction where the camera is no longer facing me, and the gun will remain authenticated and active as long as I'm actually holding it. And they do that through their number of accelerometers inside the gun that can pay attention to how it's being moved.
Oof, it sounds like so many points of failure, though. It really does.
And technologically, or more physically, there are a pair of laser, they call them time-of-flight lasers in the front and the back strap that are basically always aware of whether the gun's being held. So I've been playing with it a bit, and it's pretty darn good.
But how cool would it be if you could just like leave a gun on the table? Like, yeah, oh, like my gun, it's just sitting right here if I need to pick it up and use it. And like a kid could never walk by and do anything with it, you know?
Like if I take this and I switch it to my other hand, it deauthenticates until, of course, it sees me again, or I put my finger back on the fingerprint sensor, which pretty well replicates, like, if you're struggling over the gun and someone takes it from you, it will deauthenticate and it will no longer function. But if I'm, let's say I'm messing
Oh, that's another thing as well. If you conceal carry this, if somebody manages to get your gun away from you, it's no longer a death or death situation where like, well, I brought a gun out and now we're fighting to the death, because if somebody lunges for your gun and grabs it, they can't necessarily use it, right?
around with the gun and I go and I want to reload it. I have a malfunction I need to clear. I want to put the gun somewhere out of sight. It remains authenticated. Even
oh my God, it would be amazing for police officers. Yeah, true, because a perpetrator grabbing a gun now is no longer like an instant, somebody has to die situation.
Is changing. And that's a really cool system that, to be honest, hadn't really even occurred to me as an important element to a system like this. Now, when it comes to the actual firearm itself, and by the way, I apologize, I can't do a full teardown of this. This is just being released to the public sort of as a teaser now. They're going to be on the market in a couple of months.
Stolen guns would also be far less effective too. You steal somebody's gun, you can't use it, right? It's like stealing an iPhone. I think when people steal iPhones and shit, they just break them down for parts and I think ship them away, right?
And at that point, you can bet I'm going to get my hands on one of these and we'll really dig into it. But one of my initial questions to Biofire was like, well, you're using an existing firearms platform, right? You're not trying to develop all of this electronic material and also design your own pistol from the ground up. And it turns out, no, they actually are designing their own pistol from the ground up. And that was made necessary because of the electronic elements of the gun. So the best example here is this can't be a classic.
Literally the plot of Metal Gear Solid 4. I mean, even in Metal Gear Solid 1, they said this, right? Oh, I'm not gonna be able to find this fuck. But I remember when you entered the, I think it's when you enter the place with the radiation for the first time or whatever, or you enter like some big thing where you're not allowed to use your guns or whatever. Don't they tell you that like, oh, every single weapon is biometric ID'd, so you can't steal anybody's gun or whatever?
Barrel system, because everything you see in here, this isn't just for looks. This is because this is packed with like a dozen plus circuit boards. There's a big battery in here. There's sensors. There's wiring. There's a lot of stuff inside the shell of this pistol, and there's not extra space for a tilting barrel to tilt into. So they came up with their own inline linear recoil system. Similarly, their magazine, which I don't have here, but their magazine is a proprietary magazine. Why not just use an existing magazine? And the answer is because the magazine release location has to be rather higher than is typically used because there's a fingerprint sensor in the grip, there are electronic elements in the grip, and there isn't a good existing magazine that will fit the specifications, so they had to come up with their own. Now, it's largely based on existing, well-proven magazines, but it does have to be a proprietary magazine. So Biofire has taken on a really pretty ambitious challenge in developing both the electrical, the electronic side, the computer side. Like, this thing has as much computing power in it as an early smartphone because it's doing all this facial recognition processing, and also developing the mechanical aspect of essentially a standalone, unique firearm from the ground up as well. So it helps that they've got 5 years of development into this, and I have come away from this opportunity to try it out really pretty excited and impressed by the system. So before we go any farther, why don't we go ahead and take one of these out to the range? They have a little range facility where we can do some actual shooting with it, and you can see what the thing looks like, and we'll go through the initial authentication process, like how do you actually get the gun to let you shoot?
What? Is there like a link to the gun anywhere? Is this even available for purchase, or?
Okay, let's go ahead and actually set up a pistol. So I have a cradle here. This has a power supply, and it's going to connect to the gun's, basically, computer console here. Set that on, and then the pistol itself has a battery here, but then it has a USB interface port right in there, and that connects to that guy. So when I put that in the cradle, this is like the standard.
Oh, like this would be so nice. Holy shit. But it has to work flawlessly. Like, you're demanding like a really high level of whatever conservative dreams of. I want to see the price. I feel like there's like a $3,000 pistol. I'm curious, what is have they said anywhere what they're going to try to sell it for? It's $5,000? Oh, okay, yeah, geez. Blue button top right. Build your smart gun. Launch edition, sold out. No shot. $18.99? What's the magazine size? Is it like one of the double stack ones? It's like 15 or 17 or whatever, or it's gotta be, right? If it's made for home defense. Damn, $1,500. That's wild. Batch 2 ships June to July of next year. Oh, and the launch edition isn't.
Sort of storage configuration for the gun. It's constantly charging. The screen here is going to tell me what's going on with the gun, and we will go ahead and get me set up as this gun's owner. So this is how this would be set up right out of the box brand new. So we're going to get started. I'm going to call me Ian, fingerprint sensor. When I do touch... Alrighty, so...
Yo, I don't know if these are new. Have you ever shot with these before? Did these exist 5 to 10 years ago and I just never heard about them? These are so cool. So nowadays, when you go to a range, everybody's got, you can even get earbuds to do this. You can either get earbuds or you can get over-ear headphones, where what these do is they only block the sound of the gunshot and everything else you hear perfectly. So it's noise canceling, but it's only for the gunshots, and then you can just talk like normal. You don't have to be screaming when everybody, and take your like headphones off. You just, yeah, they're so nice. Holy shit. But I've never heard of these like 5 or 10 years ago, but I think a couple years ago I saw them for the first time, and I was like, damn. Really good ones are like $400 or $500 each, but I think you can find cheaper ones, but.
Alrighty, so break this out. Magazine capacity is 15. We're working with 10 today. The pistols are still prototypes. As soon as I cover the lasers here, it turns white, which means it's actively looking.
Destiny, you need a special hand sign for when you're trolling / not trolling. I don't know guns, so I have no idea if you're serious. Wait, what part of what I just said sounded like a joke? What? Wait, what part of that was a joke? Active noise canceling, shooting, headphone, earmuffs is probably what you'd call them. I had no idea it's possible to block certain noises. I mean, it's probably just when it hears a noise over a certain decibel limit. You might be able to get these for really cheap now, but I think the nicer one, no way. Do these really work for 35 bucks? It's got it. You're looking for like the active noise canceling, shooting, ear protection.
Metal Gear predicting the future yet again.
Wait, I feel like these are the ones I use. Are they really only 36 bucks? Am I fucking retarded? Are these that cheap? No, these are the ones that I used because they've got the little volume thing on the side. These are so cheap now. Damn. This is like how much normal hearing protection will cost at a range if they sell you some there. But yeah, these are fucking awesome. These are so cool. They're so good.
For me, so it's only when this turns white does the camera start actively looking for me. And by the way, it is a near IR camera, and it has a little IR flash strobe in there, so the camera will work in the dark, which is relevant for home defense. I really do like that.
Oh, IR light plus IR camera too makes sense.
It's one thing to fiddle around with it and try and disprove the thing, but when I actually pick up the gun, like I'm going to shoot it, by the time it comes up, the sight's just green. It is still a prototype, but bring it in. Now, of course, it's still green for me. If I have some random rogue Biofire employee come up here and try to take the gun from me, and he grabs it, up. No shooting.
Damn, that's crazy.
Now you're trying to hold that right-handed. Yeah. But even if you use the fingerprint sensor, psych, you're not enrolled in the gun. You don't get to shoot it. But I do get to shoot it.
And it's green again.
For me. This is the challenge of developing your whole new firearms platform.
Why did this change to just one headphone? Hello?
Sensor platform.
Wait, I must have fucked something up, right?
It does have to be a proprietary magazine.
This guy has 2.6 million subs. How does he fuck up the audio like this? What the?
Now, of course, still green for me. If I have some random rogue Biofire trying to hold that. This is the challenge of developing your whole new firearms platform and biotech sensor platform at the same time. There we go. Didn't cycle the trigger. So, that's why this is still pre-production. They're going to get these bugs worked out in the next couple of months, and I'm really excited to see where this goes. One of the other interesting things about smart guns is there are a whole bunch of different people have different standards for what the thing needs to do. So for the target market for this pistol, which is a person who has kids who wants to have a gun readily available but also safe, what it needs to do is basically the authentication system. But
Can you explain what failed at the end there? No, I think we skipped past it. I don't know what failed. Oh. When you fire in the slide is like half open like this, it looks like, I think you'd call this a fail to feed. So for whatever reason, the extractor or some part inside didn't pull back enough to feed the next round into the chamber. So he just pulls it back a little bit more. Fail to feed is different. Fail to extract is the empty casing. It doesn't look like there's an empty casing here though. It just looked like it failed to feed. Like it looked like the one casing flew out, right? Because all he does is he pulls it back a bit here.
This is
Oh, he didn't even pull it back. He just pushed it forward.
the challenge of developing your whole new firearms platform and biotech sensor platform at the same time. There we go. Did cycle the trigger. So that's why this is still pre-production. They're going to get these bugs worked out in the next couple of months, and I'm really excited to see where this goes. One of the other interesting things about smart guns is there are a whole bunch of different people have different standards for what the thing needs to do. So for the target market for this pistol, which is a person who has kids who wants to have a gun readily available but also safe, what it needs to do is basically the authentication system. But there are a bunch of people who are going to look at this and go, aha, I bet it won't work if. Or I bet I can break it somehow. Like, how can I make this work for me if I'm not the authenticated user? And Biofire has put a whole bunch of time and thought into those issues as well. So from a mechanical standpoint, by building a gun from the ground up, instead of modifying an existing platform, they have a much more sophisticated, basically firing system. So typically with a smart gun, something like the Armatics, what you have is a traditional firearm that has some sort of interlock in it. And an interlock, certainly the one in the Armatics, is usually pretty easy to get rid of. You pull out the locking part, poof, toss that, and now the gun just works like a regular gun. And you can
trust a gun that has failed to feed issues with stock parts? I mean, tons of things can fail to feed for a variety of reasons. You don't clean it enough, you're using shitty ammo, you limp wrist a shot, something just fucks up. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes things can happen. It just depends. It's also, you said it's a prototype model, Simon.
Nor all the electronic systems. In this, there is actually no physical link between the sear and the trigger. That whole process, like there isn't a linkage bar that you can just override and use. Instead, it is an electrical sensor system that releases solenoids that then drop the sear. So there isn't a mechanical.
Oh, so the trigger, when you pull the trigger, it's not even a real trigger pull, huh?
Override that you can do. When it comes to the electronic aspects, they've put a lot, like I said, they put a lot of thought into that. I can't show you it on this pistol because this is still like an early teaser release. But while I was here at Biofire, we pulled one of these down all the way to its component wires and screws and circuit boards. And the assembly is set up such that, for example, you can't just do a field strip, take the pressure bearing parts off the top and mate them to a new unregulated lower assembly. The gun won't actually work. And that's based on their electronic or computerized electrical settings that prevent that from working. That is not my forte. That's something for the electrical wizards to delve into and to try and break. From what they've told me, it seems like they've done a pretty good job of it, but you can bet that as soon as these are available out on the commercial market in a couple months, all the guys from DEF CON are going to be slavering to get their hands on one of these and break it. And those guys will tell you all about the electrical security elements of the gun. So I'll leave that to them. My biggest single takeaway from this is that, frankly, it's a little bit big of a gun, which isn't a big deal for a nightstand. Like, this isn't designed to be this isn't intended to be carried. You certainly could, but that's not the design concept intent. That's not what they're trying to market it for. If you want to carry a gun, buy a regular gun to carry. This is something that's specifically so that you can leave it out of your control, loaded, and still safe. Anyway, the biggest takeaway I came away from this with was that it shoots like a gun. There's no discernible delay. They've built in a system where, despite the fact that there's no actual trigger linkage, it feels like a firearm trigger, and that's very deliberate. It feels like shooting a kind of large 9mm pistol. The recoil is pleasant. The weight of the battery and all of the electrical components do a bit to help tame the recoil of the thing. If it weren't for the fact that it's got sensors and screens and lights on it, you wouldn't know that this isn't just a regular mechanical pistol. And I think that's a sign that they've done their job right. If there's a bunch of stuff that you recognize and think about consciously that make you notice that it's not just a regular gun, that's a failure in the design. There's a small element of the firearms community that will always hate the idea of a smart gun because they see it as inevitably leading to the loss of all all traditional dumb guns. But I think that's an oversight. I think that's short-sighted. I think it's really interesting to see this technology develop. This gives people an option for a home defense scenario where there haven't really been any very good options. I think it's really cool to see something like this in development and available, and especially with the recognition that it's not intended to replace everything. It's not going to, and no one would ever try to suggest that it is. So I will definitely be getting my hands on one of the production models. This and the one that we were shooting are just pre-production guns. Once they're out on the market, we'll be doing a whole bunch more tinkering and playing with it, and it'll be fun seeing what breaks it. Like, can I mud test this thing? Like, if I just wipe the mud off the camera screen, will it authenticate? We will find out, and we'll have a good time doing it. Now, hopefully, you guys enjoyed this sneak peek. We'll be doing a little more talking to Biofire about some of their background design process. There's a lot of cool stuff that went into this, way more than I can get into in a single video. So hopefully you'll enjoy that as well. Thanks for watching.
We're living in the Ghost in the Shell / Blade Runner future. I've made this comment a few times that, like, sometimes we move into the future and we don't even realize it. And then I also I just read this huge comment. For the love of soy, tell Kick and Rumble to get their shit together. I cannot watch on mobile because as soon as I turn the screen off on my phone, it stops playing. Does Twitch play when you're off screen? I feel like I've got to fuck with the app to make it do that. There's also no casting option on the platform, which is frequently how I watch you. Maybe I'm the only audience who cares about this. Really shit, I basically can't watch you anymore. Yeah, we'll figure it out, okay. It's because they have low power mode on. Jesus.
Прям яблочко. Yeah, buddy.
Talking about something. Oh, I don't know. It's just weird. First of all, every time I walk outside, somebody in a car recognized me. It's very strange. It was two girls 3 days ago. I'm gonna be honest. They were like, "Oh my God, are you Destin?" I'm like, "Yeah." We went in their car and we for 3 hours. You know, no big deal. And then you see some other dude did, which was interesting. But I'm saying, like, I'm walking down the street and there's like, it's just weird. There's like, I saw like a Tesla. I saw a dude come by in an electronic scooter, and then 2 people rode by in like electronic like city bikes that you rent from the thing. It's just crazy how like technically like everything became very futuristic, but we don't really notice. We gotta take it all for granted. That there's like all this electrical shit like moving around me, and then I've got like my phone, which is like a real life mini map, and like, I don't know. It's just interesting how like stuff has changed pretty dramatically, but it's hard to notice sometimes.
There's a microdermal sensor in the grip. It's been coded to your palm print so only you can fire it. Less of a
Wait, do we have unique palm prints? Is that true? I have no idea.
been coded
Yes.
to your palm print.
Do you have like unique everything print? Is every part of your body like unique?
So-
Why did you link me these things? Why did you even have these?
Good luck with that.
That hella sounds like the Snake Eater escape music with the little fucking flute sounds. Well, yeah, no shit. The Snake Eater music was supposed to sound like spy movie music. That was the whole point. That's what Snake Eater is, like a huge like fucking love story to like every cheesy classic fucking spy movie ever, right? Tristan Hay was arguing on Twitter yesterday that James Bond couldn't be black. I have mixed feelings about like the race swapping stuff. I think that if you race swap and it works and you don't make a big fucking deal about it, I don't think anybody would care, right? Like I could imagine like an Idris Elba or even like a fucking Michael B. Jordan fucking James Bond movie. Like I could imagine these things happening, right? But like when you make a big fucking deal about it, when everybody's like, "Oh, I'm gonna have a fucking black James Bond," it's like, yeah, then people are gonna get more angsty about it. Like if it works, it works. If you want to cast a person that works for the role, then fucking do it. But like it's also, you got to keep in mind, you have to keep in mind that like you can only race swap so many people too. At some point you're gonna have to make new IPs and shit, okay? It can't just be like we're gonna redo every single old thing and then we're gonna make all the people black. Like it's just cringe. Yeah.
Rookies in this goddamn city all goddamn day. Not put me in any better of a mood. How much you had to drink?
I told you, 2 shots and a Rebel.
It smells like you had a whole lot more than
You
that.
want to smell me?
You better smell like shit.
Cognac.
Yeah, it smells
that was
like
cognac.
It smells like cock.
That's all I could
That's
drink.
what it smells like.
You're gonna
smells like
fucking,
cognac.
Are you gonna try? Okay, if you're gonna detain me, detain me.
A fucking rookies in this goddamn city all goddamn day. Not put me in any better of a mood. How much you had to drink?
I told
This is fake as fuck, right? Yeah, okay.
you, 2 shots.
Fucking rookies in this god.
Wait, why is it that I feel like I can tell? Hold on, am I like not racist, jobist? Why do I feel like I know what cops sound like? And this guy doesn't sound like a cop. Like I can just tell immediately that the way this guy's talking, he's like not a cop. Why do I know that?
Fucking rookies in this goddamn city all goddamn day. Not put me in any better of a mood.
Maybe it's just because it sounds acted and fake. Maybe that's why. They sound depressed. Yeah, like the fucking rookies in this city are driving me crazy. Like I feel like a cop would be like, I don't even know what the cop. He would, yeah, fucking rookies, drive me fucking crazy. Give me your ID. He'd be like more like depressed soy, right? Not like high-pitched soy. He'd be like, damn rookies. Not damn rookies.
Rookies in this guy.
For taking the dais, Hillary accidentally bumped into me, and she very civilly said, "Pardon me."
Who wrote this for Trump? That Fairy Queen girl, I hadn't heard her before your panel, but she seemed pretty knowledgeable. Be nice to be out around sometime. Yeah, she seemed cool, but I have no idea what we were talking about. But yeah, she seemed pretty smart too.
And I very politely replied, "Let me talk to you about that after I get into office."
When was this? Like 6 years ago? 7 years ago? It was uploaded 6 years ago.
Sheriff's office.
I own this house.
Okay. You own this house?
What the f is happening?
Pick it up, 3480.
Okay. You got an ID or something on
No,
that?
I don't need no checking the computer. You're not even supposed to be here.
Says who?
What are you here for? I'm trying to eat dinner.
Because we got.
You got a warrant?
Because we got a
Can I
call
shut
that
the
you're
door in
not
your
supposed to be
face?
here.
No, because it's crackheads over there called the cops. Now do me a favor, because you don't belong here, and get away from me.
Who's this guy?
This guy is my tenant, Alan.
Where's Pisco at? This is something that's really astounding to me. I feel like there should be like a class. I feel like you should have like a law class at some point. I don't know, 8th grade high school, where like for one semester, or at least for like one quarter, you learn all of your rights. It's kind of crazy to me that in the United States, we have all of these negative and positive rights that are guaranteed to us, especially the positive ones, and nobody really knows what they are. Like you have nobody has any idea. And they're arguably some of the most important cornerstone pieces of US democracy, is the idea that like, because this guy doesn't know it, but what he could do is he opens the door and he says, "Hey, what's up? Do you have reason to believe there's a crime? Are you suspicious of anything? No? Okay, I don't want to talk to you. Close the door and leave." Like he could do that. He has every right to do that. But people don't know what their rights are. They have no idea.
Hey.
I love this guy. God damn it.
Could I just ask you why you're riding their butt like that and speeding, man?
I'm running his license plate because everybody else is speeding. Why are you speeding?
I was only going 60.
Speed limit's 40.
50.
Signs.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
All right.
A favor. Oh, give me the weed, too.
No, I have a...
Yeah,
I have a medical marijuana card.
Step out.
I have a card.
Step out.
All right. Stop, man.
You want to fucking run your mouth? No problem. You came to the right guy. Step out.
All right. Stop.
Come on. Front back. Anything sharp?
No, sir.
Where's the marijuana?
I have it in my car, but I have
Where's
a
the
weed
card?
I have a weed card.
6 feet apart. Right now you're just being detained. You're not under arrest.
All right.
Since you have a very hostile attitude.
No, I really don't.
See, the blue car
Yeah, which one?
was tailing me.
Yeah.
While I was pacing a tractor trailer looking for a motor vehicle violation because the governor's office has gotten multiple complaints on traffic stops.
I know.
Okay?
I know that.
So we're out doing our thing.
Okay.
He decides to pass me and f me off.
All right, Spino, I'm sorry, dude.
All right?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So who the f do you think you are worried about what I'm doing?
Okay. You're right.
I know I'm right, goddammit. Now. Everyone's got something to f***ing say. Mind your own goddamn business. You're f***ing speeding. How would I start with that?
You're right. Listen, I'm sorry.
No shit. I was following that kid for a reason. And if you hadn't done that f***ing stupid stunt, I'd be with him right now. But no.
Wow, Bangley, thanks for hosting me for 91 viewers.
No! You just couldn't leave it alone, could you? You had to be a fucking American. God help you if there's anything illegal in this car. Is it in the original dispensary container? What? It's roach. Is it in the original dispensary container? No. Then you're fucked. How's that sound? No shit. Mind your own fucking business next time. Yeah, it's called shut the fuck up. I was driving along, I was gonna head towards simple citation that I give, but no! You gotta be, you just couldn't fucking shut your mouth. Where are you going anyway? Where do you work? Where?
It's called American Pulp.
What's that? Paper?
Yeah, you know, like the liquor bottles and stuff that the shit comes in, like the trays. I promise you, I only have weed in the car. Honest to goodness. And it's all right here in my glove box right here.
You ever heard of what a heat seeker is?
No.
A heat seeker is something that draws attention to itself. Heat-seeking missiles, they go for the heat. Sit the fuck down. Did I tell you to move? Why am I speeding? I'm doing my fucking job. Connecticut General Statute 14-298 allows law enforcement officers to disregard the traffic laws in the performance of their duties. How the fuck am I going to catch a speeder if I'm not speeding? You late for your job at NASA with physics?
You're right, man.
Where do you want this so it doesn't get trashed?
That's my advice.
I can tell. I don't want to get ruined. Unbelievable. It just never fucking ends in this fucking job. I got 14 months. I can't fucking wait to be done. This ought to tell you why our department instead of having 1,300 has 850 right now. There's a fucking clue to the public. What a bunch of assholes you are. Right there. You want it on paper or not? Is it in the original dispensary container? No shit. Turn around.
Jesus.
Everything across the neck. You think I'm kidding? You think I'm fucking kidding? Look at me. Do I look like I'm happy with you right now? Shut your f***ing mouth, mind your own business, and be on your way. Don't you ever f*** with me again.
Hey, can you be safe?
The guy got fired for this? I thought he just got put on like administrative duties for the year, for his final year. Did he actually get fired?
Do pickup lines work?
Seasoned Connecticut Trooper Matthew Spina, 19 service deals with the driver with 7 prior arrests, some felonies, including violence and harassment. The driver interfered with the trooper in pursuit of a motor vehicle, and unknown to Trooper Spina apparently baited him and subsequently filmed the contact. Baited him. Oh, they suspended him indefinitely.